help if I put myself in the stream. There we go.
Hey, it's always good.
Welcome back, sci-fi fans. And I'm Andrew, and I'm here with Marisha. And sorry we're late. There's a lot of things going on here. I'm still sick with the dreaded virus, and
Yes.
Marisha's making costumes for Dragon Con.
It's true. Like, we're officially, I think, Thursday will put us 4 weeks out from the beginning of Dragon Con.
Yes.
And I'm getting ready to start a movie. So I may be slightly panicking. Like, I parked my kids in front of the sewing machine. I was like, push the button. This is how you sew a gathering stitch.
But yay, Nicole and Joker Voice, thanks for hanging out in the chat and waiting on us and being patient, because I know I already had to delay this once and then we were late. So we're going to get this thing going, and it's not going to be real in detail because my brain's just not up for doing details tonight. But I did want to talk while this was all fresh about some of the news stuff, specifically the trailers from Marvel and DC this weekend, the ones that we got to see at home. I know there was some Ant-Man footage and a few other things that were shown there, but without the ability to see it, good resolution versions of those. I don't want to get too into those, other than to say that I am really, really excited about the Daredevil announcement.
Oh yeah, I think that may be the most exciting thing of the whole shebang for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna, we're gonna have to wait and see exactly what it is. It does sound like it's a reboot of sorts, I guess. So we'll see what they're doing there. In the chat, what was your you already answered, but Nicole wants to know what kind of costumes you're making. And
yes, we are. So we've got a WandaVision group, but it kind of progresses. We've got like our 50s look, and then we've got the magic show look, and yeah, so I've been like, I'm super cheap, and so I'm not going to pay $60 for a top hat on Amazon. So I'm like, no, I'm going to go buy a $3 hat and then spend 3 hours trying to stretch it out, because that's better.
Is it there? I guess right now it is.
It is right now. Yeah, today.
So we had 4 big trailers that dropped, being Wakanda Forever and She-Hulk on the Marvel side, and Black Adam and Shazam over on the DC side. There you go.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Potato. Cheap, frugal. I mean, the thing is, though, when you're making a costumes for a group of 5 children, like, if you only blow $20 on all the costumes, you've still spent a lot of money, especially if you're making multiple costumes for groups of 5 children.
Yeah.
So we won't discuss the percentage of this next movie that I've already spent on costumes for Dragon Con. It'll be fun, though. They're gonna be cute.
So, of those 4 trailers, do you have a favorite?
Do I have a favorite?
I would have thought I knew which one was your favorite, but you've really been excited for one that I'm kind of surprised about.
The Black Adam trailer was awesome. I mean, I feel like the DC was overall more exciting than Marvel. Over the weekend.
I mean, I think they threw too. I don't know. I'd say overall, the Marvel stuff was more exciting overall.
The trailers were better.
I think DC's trailers were better. Of course, they released 2 movie trailers against a TV show and a movie trailer.
It's true. But yeah, in fact, when we went to see whatever the last movie was, what was the last movie?
Thor.
When we went to go see Thor, we saw the Black Adam trailer, and it was like, holy crap, that looks amazing. And of course, I really love Shazam, so I'm excited about Shazam. And the Wakanda Forever trailer is just, it's just sad. I just find, just the whole thing, the mural on the wall. Like I definitely didn't tear up at all on that. So, I mean, and honestly, I think that's going to be the uphill battle of Wakanda Forever, is that Chadwick Boseman is gone. There's no. It's like whenever Carrie Fisher died, when they're in the middle of filming the sequel trilogy. It's like there's nothing to be done about that. There are no good solutions.
No, there's not necessarily a right answer.
Yeah. None of the solutions are good, and so they just have to try and make the best decisions they can.
Yeah, I'm curious where they're going to go. I'm a little afraid they're shoehorning too many things into that one.
It looks like there's a lot going on.
It just, story. And of course, that's not what we got. Wasn't a real trailer. It didn't tell us anything. It was definitely the first teaser. So we'll get a full trailer that'll give us some story points going forward. But
yeah,
you've got the whatever the fallout in Wakanda, probably infighting among the tribes.
Mm-hmm.
After however they decide to take T'Challa out of the equation.
Right. Well, I mean, the thing is, we just had that whole knockdown drag out with the Succession in the last movie. So like the king is dead, who's the new king? That if you do that same storyline again, it starts to be a little repetitive.
Yeah, I mean, well, they kind of have to do it to some extent, but it's not just that. It's that they're doing that story, that they're introducing
Ironheart.
They're introducing Ironheart, they're introducing the Atlanteans.
Right.
And Namor. And I'm excited that we're getting Namor, but I'm afraid that it's just going to kind of be a jumbled mess.
Yeah, I mean, and there just wasn't a lot of information in the trailer.
No, which is why I said it's more of a teaser. It doesn't give us anything story-wise. It's just a lot of pictures.
Yeah.
And yeah, the Ironheart character, that has been a big concern going forward, Joker Voice, is that nobody bought that comic. And they're going to have to completely reinvent that character, which my hope is that they will completely and totally reinvent the character into something usable, but nobody went for the comic book version. So I'm curious to see what they'll do there. As far as replacing Black Panther, I see that Nicole's talking about Shuri taking over as the Black Panther. I sort of have my doubts that that's what's going to happen. Now, from certain standpoints, it does make the most sense. It happened in the comics. She is the sister of the king.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that character is well liked enough for them to put her at the front.
Mm-hmm.
There's been a lot of stuff where people had issues with the actress herself. I'm just not sure that putting her front and center, I'm not sure she carries a franchise.
Right.
She's fine as a character, but I'm not convinced. Who would you like to see? Because there's a lot of rumors out there right now. And of course, I should mention that while we're doing this, as we're recording, recast T'Challa has been trending for several hours now.
Yeah, it has. But I don't think they're going to do that.
No, I don't either. We may, the only way they're going to recast that character is in a multiversal version of the character.
Yeah. So we've got, I mean, kind of who are our contenders? We've got Shuri, we've got Okoye,
Nakia.
And I think that Nakia might be our most likely.
Nakia, I'm not sure is the most likely,
I think she's
but
the most
she's
franchise carrying.
100%. She's if I could vote,
Mm-hmm.
I'm 100% going with Nakia.
Mm-hmm.
Lupita Nyong'o is a very talented actress. She can carry the franchise. She's a name. She
Mm-hmm.
also in story was sort of was sort of his sounding board. Like
Mm-hmm.
she's the character that's most like T'Challa.
Mm-hmm.
And so for that reason alone, I'm 100% voting Nakia. Now, Okoye could certainly play that role.
Yeah.
Um, what do you think about all the people clamoring to bring Killmonger back?
No. No. I don't think that's a good. I mean, it's a comic book movie. It's always possible, but we spent the whole he was. It's like if you know in Thor 2 they decided to be like, okay, Loki's the new Thor. No, he's not.
Yeah.
That we just spent the whole movie, with him being the villain, being the antagonist, and the anti-Thor, basically. We don't need to see him as the next Thor. And I don't think we spent the whole first movie with him being the contender for the Black Panther.
Yeah.
And he lost. Not to say that Marvel's never done those things. But I don't
But
think.
those are your contenders. You've got the three women. You've got Killmonger, who I don't like the character.
Yeah.
I actually was a little bit. A lot of way too many people felt like Killmonger was somehow the hero of the first story,
Mm-hmm.
which is disturbing.
Mm-hmm.
And for that reason alone, the fact that they made him a villain, they doubled down on it time and time again, including in the What If series, that this
Mm-hmm.
guy's not good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I really don't want them to bring him back and somehow one, I don't want them to do the What If storyline and bring him back and make him the Black Panther only to have him still really be the villain,
Mm-hmm.
because we don't need that story. You're just muddying the waters at this point.
The case for that, I think, is Michael B. Jordan is a franchise carrying kind of actor.
I mean, yes and no. He's been in some serious failed franchises.
He is, but he also has the star power and the charisma to pull it off, I think.
Yeah, I would. 5 years ago, I'd have agreed with you, but I think that he has not been. I think there's a reason you don't see him in more stuff.
Maybe. I don't think Killmonger comes back. I just don't
No,
think.
and your only
I don't
other
think that's a good
real
story.
option is that we know is M'Baku.
Yeah.
But I don't believe for a second that's him in the suit at the end, because that dude's huge.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, as far as them bringing him back, like I'm not in any way, shape, or form wanting that. Like, that would be a terrible idea. One, because it's a cop out on the death.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so I am hopeful for this movie. I hope it's good. It is our last movie. It is the end of Phase 4.
Mm-hmm.
As we found out earlier, that Quantumania in February will kick off Phase 5, and it's interesting to see how these phases are ramping up in speed.
Yeah.
And we'll see if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're right as far as who it's going to be, Joker voice. I think the problem is of the characters that they had built up around him, that's the only. I think most of the realistic options, as far as characters we already know, were female characters.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, I'm optimistic. I really, really enjoyed the first Black Panther movie. They kind of managed to they managed to pull it off really well. For it's a really unique kind of story within the Marvel mythos, and they did an excellent job. And I really hope that they managed to, pull it off again.
Yeah. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. My biggest concern with it is that they're going to waste Namor.
Mm,
Like, this is a big character, like a really, really big character,
right.
like one of the oldest Marvel characters. Like, this character, I really think the character deserved to be introduced in his own film,
Hmm.
maybe not dropped in as the villain of someone else's film, but we'll see. For all I know, it may be his film.
Yeah, that's true. You know, I the thing about Namor is I think, although I know that the Namor character is older than Aquaman, there's going to be so much comparison. Especially since Aquaman was one of DC's better performing movies ever.
Right. Well, that and the fact that they made the Jason Momoa Aquaman is not the comic book Aquaman. He's actually probably more like Namor in some ways than Aquaman.
Right.
So that will be interesting to see what the comparisons are. And most people think that Namor is the Marvel ripoff of Aquaman, but it's actually the other way around.
Right.
Which is really not a big deal. I mean, you both pulling from Atlantis, so having a king of Atlantis is not, that big of a stretch that two people could come up with those things. But yes, Namor definitely comes first. So moving on to the next one on the Marvel side, we had the She-Hulk trailer. What did you think about this one compared to the first one?
I just don't love the look. It's fine.
It looks better, but it's just always going to be a little uncanny valley. I'm not sure what the solution is. It's kind of this thing of, and I think it's partially because, like, how do you make it look passable? Because like Hulk, you just make him look way less human.
Right.
I mean, it does you try to keep her looking human, but larger and green, so it looks fake.
Right. I mean, it looks better.
No,
the CGI does look better. It's just weird. And like you said, the thing with the Hulk is he's just, especially that they've kind of, and honestly, I've liked the look of the Hulk less the more they tried to make him look like Bruce Banner. Like, I think Professor Hulk is my least favorite iteration of the Hulk.
Oh, for sure. He's, from what I can tell, he's everybody's least favorite version of the Hulk. And I think they've been going the wrong direction with Hulk for a while.
And so in some ways, I feel like this is kind of, I mean, it's obviously more of a continuation of that. She's practicing law in her Hulk form. So that's a really different, it's a different dynamic. And like I said, it's fine. There are things that I'm interested in about it, but especially since they decided to lean into the lawyer angle, it's just kind of weird to me.
Well, I mean, that's what the comic is.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's not that is the comic.
I don't know anything about the comics. It's like she's a Hulk, or it's a Hulk and she's a she, and
I don't know. It's just like, I think it looks better than the first trailer. I'm less interested in it than I have been about previous.
Well, and
I don't know necessarily what the reason for that is. I'm just not as interested in it.
I mean, it from what we're seeing so far, it's much more lawyering and much less superheroing.
That's fine.
And
Daredevil did that.
Yeah, for like 2 episodes. And maybe that's the direction they're going to go. Also, the actor had the advantage of not being green in CGI, and so thus more interesting to watch as a lawyer. I mean, it's
Hey guys, I'm sorry to do this in the middle of a stream, but give me like 30 seconds. All right, sorry about that. Y'all didn't want to hear me coughing and stuff on camera. So overall, I am excited that Daredevil's in it.
Yeah, that's the thing I'm most excited about.
And we're gonna get some mutants. I think this is going to be our first introduction to, talked about, these kind of oddball characters that are showing up. So I definitely think we're going to do some mutants here, some lower level mutants.
Yeah.
So
what exactly is the deal? How does she wind up hulking out?
We don't know.
Do they do that on purpose?
Well, in the comics, I believe she gets a blood transfusion. That they don't have another option, that he gives her a blood transfusion. It's also why she hulks out, but not like to the full extent he does.
Okay. That makes sense.
So I think they're going to do something in that first trailer. There was a picture of a car crash.
Yeah.
And I think that's all occurring during the 5 years.
Yeah.
Which gives us a good reason why he's not able to immediately get her help.
Yeah.
If that's what happened.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm intrigued to see, like, now we've opened the mutants can of worms. So I think it's getting ready to kind of trickle and then pour. So you think we're going to find out that Matt Murdock is a mutant?
No. There's no reason for him to do that. That would be totally outside of his comic book character. There's really no reason to do it. I do think that we will find out some people we've had in the MCU for a while might be mutants, but it won't be Matt Murdock. And we're not going to do. I think they definitely intend to introduce some very low level, like C tier mutants here early. Like, I don't think we're going to be seeing a lot of our big name mutants for a while, knowing that they're not going to show up probably until I think we're looking at phase 6 before we see mutants. Now, like I was saying earlier, the phases, because they're putting out so much more material now with the TV series shown in, like the number of minutes for phase 4 is way longer than any of the other phases. So the phases, they took 12 years to do the first 3 phases.
Right.
Now each phase is really going to only be like a year and a half, 2 years. So it's going to speed up a lot, and we'll see if that's good or not.
Yeah, it's different for sure.
That would be interesting. I'm not going to say they won't do it. And I kind of wonder if maybe we'll meet Ben Grimm and not the Thing.
Yeah.
Just knowing that Fantastic Four is slated to kick off phase 6. It just seems way too early to be introducing new characters.
So is the Thing also made of perishable rock?
No. So yeah, for that one, it's fine. It is what it is. I don't have any strong feelings one way or the other about She-Hulk at this point.
No.
I think the bigger news was they dropped so many release dates. I did ask on Twitter a little while ago. I put out a poll, Marvel versus DC, who had the better showing at Comic-Con. this year, and it's like last I looked, it was like 94% Marvel.
Really?
But see, you feel stronger about, well, and me too, feel stronger about Shazam than most people. The first Shazam didn't perform all that well. Like,
I love Shazam.
oh no, but I mean, admittedly, Shazam is the most Marvel thing DC's done.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. Most of the things I've really enjoyed in DC have been very Marvel. I really liked Aquaman. I really liked Shazam. Is there anything? Oh, and Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman is its own thing. But, you know, Aquaman and Shazam were both pretty
Yeah, I'll post that. I didn't even think about post. I never use my Instagram, so I'll
It's
post
true.
something over there.
Yes, Shazam absolutely was one of the best DC.
Oh, it's my favorite.
Mhm.
I
mean, Zachary Levi couldn't have done better than Zachary Levi as
no,
the
if you want
overgrown
somebody
kid.
to play an overgrown kid, like yeah, definitely Zach Levi. The kind of manicness he has going on really just kind of amplifies that vibe too.
Someday we're gonna go to Comic-Con. I'm gonna get you. We're just gonna get you a white shirt. And we're gonna get you those little pocket things. that says,
Chuck.
Yeah, we're gonna go Chuck and I'll wear a Wienerlicious girl, and it'll be fun.
But no, I love the Shazam trailer. I love everything about it. I'm
a pediatrician.
You do know I'm just a pediatrician, right? Yeah, it's it looks like they're just picking up right where they left off with the whole vibe. I love the cast. There's nobody in that cast that hasn't been great.
Mm-hmm.
And
the kids were phenomenal. Like the kids, and you know, we only saw a little bit of the adult versions of the others, but man, those kids were great.
Yeah, no, the kids did a great job, because you never know what you're going to get with that many kids in a movie.
A lot of kids in a movie, for sure.
So the real, you know, of course, everybody at the panel asked him if they would ever see him versus Black Adam.
I mean, that's the obvious question, right?
Yeah, and of course, you know, everybody got that question this weekend, and everybody just blew that question off.
Of course.
And right now we don't even officially have a Superman.
Right.
So, you know, if they let Henry Cavill walk, that would be
stupid.
Beyond.
But
stupid. DC, just despite turning out a good movie every now and then, still has just never figured out exactly what they want to be.
It's true. Henry Cavill. And here's the thing. Henry Cavill loves being Superman.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Henry Cavill would be Superman forever if they would let him. And the thing is, like that, it doesn't always work that way. Sometimes your actor gets to be a superstar and he's really done being a superhero. You know, Chris Evans doesn't ever have any intentions of being Captain America again.
No.
And he was great. He was great as Captain America, but he's done. Henry Cavill's not. They'd be stupid to just let him go. So
I mean, what did you like about the Shazam trailer?
I mean, obviously, you know, and the action and everything and the humor was great in Shazam, but I really, you know, I love me a good family dynamic, and they've got such a sweet story, you know, a found family story going. And I mean, Helen Mirren and Lucy Liu as your villains. I mean, geez.
Yeah.
That is damn.
Whoever thought we would see Helen Mirren as the villain in a comic book movie?
I mean, and not just like as a villain, like straight up, like looks like a comic book villain. It's just hilarious.
Yeah, I agree that Marvel has been a big focus for him. I think that's what's with all the reshoots happening right now. Unfortunately, I still don't trust Bob Chapek. You know, we'll see.
Star Wars fan and you doesn't trust Bob Chapek. Is that the deal?
I mean, well, he's had very little to do with Star Wars at this point. I mean, there's been no movies released under his watch. That is true. She is one of those up there with I often wondered how they made a movie with her and Cameron Diaz at the same time, with both of them being so notoriously difficult to work with.
Yeah. Sometimes though, really good actors are that way.
It's true. So Black Adam, you're way more excited about this one than I am. I'm excited. I think it looks fun.
I mean, it really, so honestly, the first Black Adam trailer was incredible, right? You've got those like archaeologists or something, who are like digging around and find him, and it all kind of lights up. And so that was a really great like first intro. But I'm really excited just to see. I really enjoy characters who are good and they do the good thing and they have the right motives and they do the, I like Captain America. I like Superman. I even like Shazam because he's a very kind of, that innocence. But there's also something really interesting about the damaged character who is going to do the expedient thing.
Yeah. Well, and with a character like Black Adam, like, it may not do the good thing.
Yeah.
He's not a hero.
No.
I mean, he can be if he wants to be, but darker, grittier character.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun.
And he looks amazing. He looks so cool. It's Black Adam. The Rock.
Yeah, no,
it's an awesome look. It's a really cool look. So,
no, this is one of those times where I'm really glad that when an actor said, "I want to play this character," the studio listened.
Mm-hmm. He's one of the
much
biggest
like
things.
When what's his name? Wanted to play Gambit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, who was that? Channing Tatum.
Yeah.
Channing Tatum wanted to play Gambit, and it was like, please, God, no. And fortunately, that never happened.
Unfortunately, he's already in the MCU as a different character. Otherwise, wouldn't Anthony Mackie be so fun as Gambit? Oh my God.
He would have made a good Gambit. I don't know. He would be okay as Gambit. They're going to have to find somebody to do Gambit right.
And this is the interesting thing about South Louisiana, though, is like you've got like your real French Cajuns and you got your like Cajun adjacent Lebanese and African Americans and like all these people who came to South Louisiana and kind of assimilated. Yeah. My uncle's, Kevin's biological family, I mean, they're like straight up like live in the swamps, but they came from Lebanon in the 20s, so that's the fun thing about Louisiana is you could have a Cajun character who could, Anthony Mackie could be Cajun. That would be fun.
Yeah. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see who they go get. I don't know what they're going to go for Gambit.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't even know. It may be 10 years before we see Gambit on screen, but he's one of those characters that the Fox X-Men never did anything with, really.
It's true.
Like we had him in one movie, he really doesn't do anything. So like he would be high on my list of X-Men I want to see early. Mm-hmm. But no, this Black Adam movie does look fun. They got some Aldous Hodge as Hawkman. Looks great.
Ooh, I didn't realize that's who was Hawkman. Oh, he's one, man, he's a good actor. He's a really, really good actor. And he's one that it's always like, why have we not seen him do something else?
Yeah, well, now you will. So
awesome. Yeah, that's really exciting.
He's a guy that I'm surprised hadn't shown up in Marvel or DC sooner, but no, I mean they've got quite a few characters they're introducing here, and it's gonna really I agree with that. Brosnan as Dr. Fate is great. I can't wait to see that movie. I think it's all well cast.
Mhm.
I don't know as much about the character as I did Shazam.
Mhm.
But I'm really excited. Like I think that for me, just looking at the trail, those two, it's just trailer wise, I do feel like DC kind of edged out Marvel this year. I know that D23, hey, Michelle, I'm assuming Michelle, thanks for popping in for a minute.
Michelle or Natalie?
It's Michelle or Natalie, but I'm guessing it's Michelle.
Seems fair.
Um, so I do feel like DC edged out Marvel just a tad. Mostly because I'm so excited about Shazam.
Yeah.
It,
I mean, so like for me, I'm really excited about Shazam. I'm very intrigued by Black Adam, and I'm apprehensive about Wakanda, and a little just weirded out by She-Hulk. So that's just sort of like my overall takeaway from the whole thing. So yeah, overall DC, which is really surprising because in general, DC rarely will edge out Marvel in my preferences. But you know, every once in a while they stack up and it's like, you
no,
know,
the thing was when
Wonder
DC,
Woman versus Captain Marvel, for example.
you're gonna take Wonder Woman
I'm
every
going to take
time.
Wonder Woman every time, except for why Remus Lupin is the god of war. He's not a Greek god. He's not.
That's really the only thing that I just can't stand about that movie.
That's really the only thing about that movie. Yeah. Less.
I do think that overall, I think Marvel announced a lot more really interesting things.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait to see who Bill Murray is playing in Quantumania.
I mean, yes. You gotta I mean, Bill Murray shows up in anything, and I'm down. I'm down for anything that Bill Murray's in. Yeah, see, you and me both. Shazam. I love Shazam.
Yeah, no, if I had to pick of these four, if I had to pick a trailer and say this is the one I'm most excited for, I'm definitely going Shazam.
Unfortunately, I think Elijah's outgrown his Shazam costume, unfortunately.
Oh, there's no way he would fit in that Shazam
He
costume.
was so cute.
Yeah. I mean, you could put it on him. It'd be funny to take a picture of him, but there's no way it fits.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, anything else? Any other thoughts on any of those four or anything in particular that was announced?
You know, I think it's so, you know, whenever like we're making big announcements about movies 7 years from now. Like, and maybe,
but that's the thing. These announcements only went up to 2024.
That's true, but still, that's like
2 years.
That's only 2 years. Wow.
Hey, 2024 is a year and a half away.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Jeez and Pete, how to get to be like halfway through 2022?
It was that 2 years we
spent hiding under a rock.
Yeah, 2 years we had stolen.
Yeah. Oh, it's pretty crazy. But like I said, I'm going
to be curious about the D23 announcements because I really don't know what else they could announce. It's way too early unless they want to give us an early look, a teaser for Ant-Man Quantumania. Like that's the next thing, and that's all the way up in February. So I don't think they held on to anything really Marvel-wise to announce at D23 unless they want to give us some footage. Because initially I was the same way. I didn't think they were going to show us anything except the Wakanda trailer.
Yeah, I expected a Wakanda trailer.
I expected them to hold all of those Phase 5 and Phase 6 announcements for D23, and they didn't hold on to anything.
But how excited are we for an 18-episode Daredevil series?
I mean, that's the win I'm taking away from the weekend.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Now that one, like in general, I was like, okay, like a movie that's coming 2 years from now. I mean, hooray. But that one I'm excited about because I loved Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock. He was just so great. And I mean, so surely they're bringing back Foggy Nelson and Carrie, right? We're bringing back our same. They
there are
had
rumors that we are, but
they were
there's no
so good. They were
confirmation.
those three were such an they had such a great dynamic.
That's the only thing. We do have to wait till 2024 for that series.
Yeah, alas. You think we'll get Elektra again?
I mean, if you do enough Daredevil, you have to do Elektra.
Yeah.
But it does sound like this may be a reboot, so we'll see what they how they decide to roll with it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think you kind of have to reboot because I don't think they're going to be knocking down Finn Jones's door to reprise his I don't think he's going to to reprise his role as Iron Fist so that everyone can also hate this iteration. And I didn't hate Iron Fist. Iron Fist, like, I enjoyed it. But people who really loved the comics really hated it. Like Daniel hated it so much.
Hated what?
Iron Fist.
Iron Fist. Oh yeah,
so much.
I mean, I didn't love it.
I didn't love it.
But
it was
I didn't
fine.
hate it near as much as Daniel.
I enjoyed it.
But Daniel, like when I say I didn't hate it as much as Daniel did, like Daniel wanted to kill it with fire. Like,
yeah.
It's true. Yeah. So I don't know what we're going to get there. The thing is about it not being as good as the Netflix series. You're probably right. Solely on the fact that Daredevil series that was done on Netflix is far and away the best comic book TV series ever made, and it's not close.
I would agree. Yeah. We've actually been watching Daredevil again, and it's just like, this is way better than it has any business being.
And the thing is, I hated all those other series. I didn't like Jessica Jones. I didn't like Luke Cage.
No, I didn't either.
Oh, Defenders was boring.
Yeah.
But no, I did like The Punisher, but you didn't like The Punisher.
The Punisher was really dark. I enjoyed it, but it was a little hard to watch.
Yeah.
I just didn't enjoy Jessica Jones. She was just not likable. Luke Cage, I just had a hard. It was just, the story was just kind of. I really enjoyed the first season of Luke Cage.
Mm-hmm. It was better,
but it got increasingly less engaging as it went on.
Agreed.
Especially the more he got tied up with Jessica Jones, the less I cared.
Yeah. I don't know. I know a lot of people. If Daniel were here, he would die. He'd be dying at me saying that. But I liked Punisher. I liked Daredevil. I really didn't care anything about the others.
Yeah.
But I think that's really all I've got to say about those 4 trailers. So
yeah. I mean, and I think that's pretty much, like, there were several kind of announcements, but that was really the only one.
We'll talk in depth about the announcements on the actual podcast when we've got more voices to chime in on things.
Yeah. Sounds like
so we'll go through probably on this week's podcast. And of course, Nicole's here in the chat. So Nicole knows this is coming up, but I've got to talk to a whole bunch of people. I've been sick. I've been busy. But we are planning some serious Muppet mayhem here at the Science Fictionary with a whole month of Muppet episodes, both podcast, live episodes, and trivia.
It's true.
So we've got that coming up. So I will be reaching out to you this week, Nicole, to talk about Muppets and see who all we can get on for that.
I'm gonna have to do some Muppet binging.
Yep. So looking forward to that. But thanks to everybody that joined us in the chat tonight, to Nicole and Joker and Michelle for popping in. And I think that was it, right? So I've basically, I got sick. We've had people with COVID in the house for a little over a week now, Joker. So it just kind of threw my schedule off. So I still very much intend to do a Ms. Marvel roundtable, but I've just got to have time to schedule it. And
we've mostly only done things that's been like, hey, do we both feel capable of talking for a whole half hour? And then we record something, and then we're like, all right, we're going to record something tomorrow. And then somebody's like, ugh.
So yeah, definitely still doing the Ms. Marvel roundtable. I've just got to get it scheduled with all of y'all. So, Marisha, where can people find you and find your cosplay photos?
It's true. So today, after I get done, you'll be able to see my transformation of a lame little bowler hat into a very, I mean, kind of indifferent, but at least top hat shaped hat. I don't know if that made any sense. Either way, you can find me on princesses_and_padawans and Padawans on Twitter.
Awesome. You can find me running the Twitter account for this show at sci_fictionary. You can drop us a line at the sciencefictionary@gmail.com. You can find our podcast, the Science Fictionary Podcast, anywhere you listen to podcasts, as well as Coruscant Radio Underground. Look for more episodes of both of those coming real soon. So until next time, may the force be with you.